My dad ended up putting me on YouTube. Ever since then, I just blew up.
My dream is to be a big star one day.
I am Jashaun Agosto, so.
Jashaun Agosto, born January 16th, 1997. As we come to the conclusion of this Prodigy series, I figured the best way to end it is with the inspiration of the series and best example of my perspective when it comes to rating prospects too early in basketball. More than that, giving them titles that create unfair expectations to make it all the way to the NBA, have to deal with the harsh reality of genetics, or even break down mentally. Of course, best case scenario is to have the success Alonzo Trier had and at least meet expectations of getting to the big stage, but that's the anomaly. Today's feature is the most likely, while some end up somewhere in between. Who's actually hurt by the idea of being a prodigy? The player, the person that has to live with and now transition into being what everyone outside of himself see as a failure. Jashaun Agosto is not a failure, but these words from his father when asked if he would go the same route with his now 6-year-old shows a better way is available when you have an advanced talent and don't have the ability to see the future. It's worked out, but I don't recommend it, and I won't do it again, says Julio Agosto, period. Cause I feel like we did a really good job of navigating through it and we've protected his head and he's good. But when I look back at us, we were naive and now we know. So I'm not risking it. It's a gamble. We got lucky. And he's right, they are lucky. Through my research, I find Jashaun to be a bright young man that was able to graduate college, I'm assuming all paid for, and speaks like he's learned something along the way. But it didn't result in what his projections said, and here are 3 reasons why. Salute to everyone that's requested these players, salute to everyone that's tuned into the new series, salute to all these players, and I wish them nothing but success. It's your boy JC Stunted Growth, let's get it, man. Jashaun Agosto is a 5'11" Seattle product that became well known in 2007 at just 10 years old when his father posted a video on YouTube for his out-of-town family to see his son's progress. Pretty harmless. The title of the video is where things get interesting, to say the least. The best 10-year-old basketball player in the US. Media got a hold of the video that showed the preteen performing dribble moves that were far beyond his years. That, along with his youthful naivete, made him the talk of the country, and along came expectations and opinions about his game that may have been too much too soon. Stunt number 1, just stayed normal. A quote from Jashaun himself in an interview with the Seattle Times. When you're a kid and everyone is being nice to you, along with your family happy because of your success, you don't understand what that means in the future. Bright-eyed and seeking approval, you continue to put on a show. He became a 4-year starter for Garfield High and won 2 state championships, one as a sophomore and another his junior season. He averaged 13.3 points a game and 3.6 assists his junior season, and 10.5 points, 6.8 assists, 3.4 rebounds, and 3.8 steals per game as a senior. As he was coming up, he said that he began to hear the chatter about him supposedly being a prodigy that was expected to carry those advanced skills to the highest level, and also the negative ones that said for whatever reason he wasn't going to do it. It made him work to prove them wrong, but at the end of the day, we can't control genetics. We can't control all circumstances. It may have been for this reason his numbers, by all accounts, were normal throughout high school, now that his peers have caught up to him physically and skill-wise. Was it the pressure of being a child star? Poor guidance? Work ethic? One can only speculate. The facts are, those numbers are just normal, and although it afforded him 2 scholarship offers, it wasn't where many thought he would be by the end of high school, and I'm sure the feeling of underachievement set in. Whether he used that positively or it got to him is for him to answer. Looking at the facts, they show feelings didn't matter more than results. Long Island University was the result. Getting a full scholarship from any Division I program is an accomplishment, but again, compared to expectations, that was just normal. It stunted his growth because for a prodigy, you lose more luster than if you were not when big schools aren't bought into the hype. It makes the hill that much steeper, although not impossible. Stunt number 2, underperformance. The next stunt in the growth of the most well-known prodigy is a huge potential risk you run when counting your chickens before they actually hatch. No matter how good a kid just 10 years old is, there's too much that still needs to happen for them to meet expectations as the best anything. You don't know what will happen genetically as far as how tall they'll be for the position their game dictates. You don't know how much they'll still love the game with all the pressure and expectations around them. And most importantly, you don't know if those advanced skills will be caught up to by peers or not. All it takes is for that to happen and those very same peers grow taller and more athletic than the prodigy, and that's it. You get underperformance. Did Agosto underperform in high school? For a normal kid with no Ellen DeGeneres invites, late show appearances, and free ice cream, not projected to be the next big superstar, no, he didn't. For a player to average 10 points a game as a senior and mediocre numbers across the board to get a scholarship of any kind, that's a success. For Jashaun, a different story. Did he underperform in college? Well, let's look at it. But first, understand. The college you go to matters none when you're good enough to overperform compared to the level of your competition. Is Weber State a bigger basketball school than LIU? Davidson? Lehigh? No, they aren't, but if that's the route you take, you have to be special and even undeniable. As a freshman, he averaged 11 points, 3 assists, and shot 36% from 3 on a team that won 20 games as the starting point guard. He followed that with 11.8 points and 4 assists, playing more minutes, attempting more threes, and shooting a worse percentage. From there, his scoring declined in the next 2 seasons, along with his shooting. For his career, he averaged 10.8 points, 4 assists, 31% from 3 in 34 minutes a game. If the expectations were for him to go to the NBA one day, you can see the problem. If you are going to be on the smaller end of point guards, you have to do at least one thing extraordinary. As a passer, he didn't. Scoring, defense, shooting, winning, same thing. For a normal player to make it to 4 years and graduate with your degree, all paid for, is amazing. For Jashaun Agosto and his lofty expectations, he underperformed. Stunt number 3, guidance. The following growth stunt is one I can't contribute to Jashaun himself because he shouldn't have had to even be in that situation so young with those prodigy expectations. You willingly walk into those when the people guiding your career don't have the knowledge at the time of what that could do to affect your game. His father explained just as much. Sure, it feels accomplished in the moment, and you can even feel lucky for your kid to receive so much love. But unlike Alonzo Trier's mother did with him in protecting him from too much media attention and labels of being the next best thing, Jashaun's guidance stared him directly into a pressure that can be detrimental. Ask Marquise Brown. And we see this all the time. Not every parent is gonna be LeVar Ball and boast about how their kids are the future of a sport and parade them around the nation as that. Not every parent will have kids that grow to all be above average sized humans, blessed with the gift to play the game. Many attribute size or lack thereof as a growth stunt for Agosto, but I don't think that was entirely the case. It could have made him a better player that scored easier or shot the ball better, but even at his size, we see players every year dominate amateur leagues and find their way onto NBA rosters. The hype put a target on his back, his father said. It made all the other kids go even harder at him. Another risk placed unnecessarily on a child, but once again, knowledge is key. To give knowledge is why this story and this series was put together. Knowledge of how it could turn out is what Jashaun Agosto didn't have to guide him. All in all, everything mentioned does not determine the future of this player. He's fresh out of college as of last year and now has his entire life ahead of him. He can continue to chase the dream of playing professionally, or he can transition into being whatever his heart desires. I wish him nothing but the best. Kids need to grow. Parents, protect your kids' growth. They only get one of those. There's no such thing as a prodigy. There's only ones that get it sooner. No one can tell the future. Therefore, no child should be subjected willingly to the unknown. Salute to Jashaun and salute to everyone that's watched this series. Hopefully something was received from these stories, if at least entertainment. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe to the channel. It's your boy JC Stunted Growth, and I'm out. Make sure you follow me on twitch.tv/stuntedgrowthgaming if you want extra free content like me breaking down the day's highlights, moves, drafts, and past players or games upon your request. Let's chat and talk live, as it's easier to answer your questions than a place like Instagram where your messages tend to get lost. Follow me there, it's free and we can connect instantly. Join the Discord as well to chat in-game. I'll leave links to everything below.